Greetings, everyone. In the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, I am Jonathan Drayfin. This is DUPED. Today, I'm going to give a part 2 of my testimony. I wanted to give more details on what I talked about in my previous video. I just wanted to go into more in-depth detail about who I was years ago, how I came out of that, and how I got to where I am today. And then briefly touch on a few of the many deceptions that are the most important right now that are deceiving the masses. So I'm going to start off with, let's go 2012. I want to clear up what I said last time, which was I started to rap in 2011, but it was actually 2012. I was deeply influenced throughout high school by the hip hop culture, as I said before, and at one point while I was in high school, I took on a rapper's identity by the name of Tyga. I was very influenced by this man. I wanted to have his life. So I headed down that path, and it was crazy. It was funny, It was just me being young and not knowing who I wanted to be. So I took on that identity, and that's actually not what made me want to be a rapper. What actually made me want to be a rapper was a rapper by the name of Nipsey Hussle. I was influenced by Tyga because I liked a lot of things about him, but as far as being an actual rapper, I was deeply influenced by Nipsey Hussle, who's deceased now, but he is the reason why I started to rap, because the way that he used to rap was exactly the way that I am as a person with my words. Um, he was obviously different type of person than me because he was in the streets. I never was in the streets, but his his delivery and his style was it fit me so perfect. So that's why I started rapping, and I went down that path. Full head, full head of steam, and that was my life. Um, Rapping was the first thing that I ever was deeply passionate about. It was um, it was the only thing ever in my life until now that I was deeply passionate about, and I was willing to give everything to it. Um, Doing music, being an artist, um, it was everything to me. That was my God at that point in my life. And so I was willing to do anything to become who I wanted to be, and this is the mindset of most young people. We are so deeply influenced by entertainment and entertainers that we don't even see that we are serving an idol, and we are far away from God. Being in that lifestyle brings so much immorality. Um, that lifestyle has nothing to offer you except for death. That's it. It has nothing else in it for you besides death. The whole music industry is all about sex, money, and drugs, which are completely against God. And so at that time, though, I was enjoying it so much, I didn't care about God, which most people don't who are in that lifestyle. So it's understandable, why people don't want to hear truth, because their hearts are hard. When you're living that way, your heart becomes hard, and you cut off any type of sound mind is gone. It's just you in La La Land. And that's where I was at. And so from 2012 until 2015, this is what I gave my life completely to. And so in 2015, towards the end of 2015, I really wanted to move out of my parents' home and start out on my own. And so I had some people that I call friends that moved to Columbia. If you know anything about Missouri, Kansas City is 2 hours away from Columbia. So I had some friends that moved there. And then I really wanted to move out of my parents' home. So I ended up moving out there also. Well, let me backtrack before the end of 2015. The entire 2015 for me was a very pivotal time in my life. I feel like in 2015 it was the devil's last tug for my life. I did so many things in 2015. In a worldly sense, I lived the life. I was living it up. I was traveling almost every month. I was doing so many things that, the people who are living in sin would, enjoy so much. And I did enjoy it, and I thought that towards the end of the year that, I was going to push my music more and something was going to happen. But it didn't work out that way. God had other plans for me. And so I had all this fun and all this partying and, I'm doing everything that everybody wants to do, that everybody loves to do when they live in that lifestyle. And so towards the end, when I wanted to move out of my parents' home so I could really do what I wanted to do, I left. And once I got to Columbia, I didn't make it. I thought I was going to, be able to sustain myself and do everything that I wanted to do, which I possibly could have, but my mind wasn't in the right space. I was so focused on the wrong things that I couldn't even focus on sustaining myself while I was down there. So while I was down there, I hit rock bottom. It was a pretty tough time for me. But while I was down there, I connected with my wife, and it was perfect timing. I still don't understand why God allowed the good to come from the ignorance that I was into, but God is merciful, you know. So I connected with my wife while I was down there, and it was the perfect time for it to happen. She was with me through all the hard times, It was really a blessing at that time, and so I connected with my wife and we developed a relationship. And so I ended up moving back to Kansas City because I couldn't stay there. I moved back with my parents, and then me and my wife, we continued to develop our relationship, and so things started to turn around for me once I moved back to Kansas City and I started to get my life back on track. But two pivotal things that happened to me in 2015. One thing that I remember that happened before I moved to Columbia was one of my friends from high school got killed. And the friend that got killed was just like me and all the rest of my friends. And so that sparked some type of setback in my mind about life, because this friend was out, partying, which is something that we all do, and he lost his life. And so that just made me stop and think about my own life, because it was like I understood that that could have been me, you know, that could have been me because we were just alike in a sense. And so I could have been that person just out there, just, on the scene and just lost my life, and so that really stopped me in my tracks with the whole going out thing. And so that was a very detrimental moment. And a lot of people don't know that moment really stuck with me, even though I still was hanging out with everybody. I wasn't really going out really, but that really stuck with me and it changed my mind. And I was like, you know what? That's something that I just need to cut out of my life, and so that happened in the later part of 2015. And so once I moved back here, and 2016 is when things really started to change. Once I got back here, um, once I got back here and I started to get my life back on track, um, another incident happened where I was really down. I was really going through it, and I'll never forget. My dad came to me like, "Hey, son, you don't have a reason to be the way that you are being in this moment. You know, there are many things going on in the world, and you're not going through what you really could be going through. So you need to be grateful for what you're going through." And I that stuck with me. Because he was right. You know, you get into those moments in life, and you just think, "Oh, woe is me." Like you going through so much, but it's people that could be going through way worse situations than you, and it really was just a bump in the road. That's all it was. And so once that happened and different things happened, I really wanted to get my life on track. And so I started to read my Bible, and I started reading it every day at work and just all the time. And so once I started reading my Bible, really that's when the repentance for me started. Um, I started to be convicted about so many different things. I'm still making music. I'm still just in the world living for the devil. I'm still making terrible decisions, but I'm at this point, I'm being convicted. I'm being severely convicted. With the disgusting music I'm making. With just everything that I started to see when God started opening up my eyes about life in general. My mind just started to change. My mind started to change, and I slowly but surely things just started to get cut off out of my life, just cut off. And one of the biggest things that helped me through this time, which I recommend for anybody who is truly seeking the truth, is get rid of your social media, man. Um, I got off social media, because social media is really a hindrance to people who really want to wake up and serve God. Because social media, it has everything that you can imagine that will keep somebody in bondage. It has everything at your fingertips, everything that you don't really want to see. When you really want to renew your mind, it's hard to renew your mind when garbage is continuously going into. And so I cut off a lot of things, and social media was one of the things that I'm so grateful that I cut off. I cut it off in 2016, and I just recently came back in 2020 because this is the time now. Like, I needed to get prepared for this time, and so God was preparing me, and that was one of the best things I could have done, you know, and I recommend it to anybody who really is seeking and wanna be grounded in the truth, is to let go of the social media, focus your mind on Christ, and let Him reveal His truth to you, you know, and He will do it, He will, just seek Him out. Like I said, you'll find Him. He's a rewarder of those who seek Him diligently. You got to be diligent. That's what it takes, man. And so once I cut the social media off, and I started to dig into the truth, man, I ran into so many deceptions, and that's why I'm making this channel, because the deceptions it goes so deep, it's like peeling back an onion, like here's a big old onion, and the onion is all around it. The layers is just a bunch of deception until you get to the core, and then you find the truth, so when I started seeking, man, I had to peel back this onion, and every time I peel it back, I run into another deception. It's just, that is the way that it is set up in this time, and Satan is coming on every side, trying to make sure that we do not make it into the kingdom. And so you have to be diligent. Like I keep saying, I can't stress it enough, to be diligent in seeking the truth, because the many deceptions are so subtle, because these men, well, it's really the spirit that's behind the men, that it's the spirit of error, and that spirit mixes error and truth together. So it's not easy to decipher it, because the truth is in there. The truth is in there, but it's laced with error, so it's not as easy as people would think it would be to decipher the truth. That's why you need the spirit of truth, to lead you and guide you into all truth. That's what the truth does, and it is amazing. It is amazing how, when the spirit of truth comes and He reveals those things to you, you can clearly see the deceptions, even when it's mingled in so good, And so, one thing I would say for a lot of people is, when you seek the truth, make sure that you cut off as much of the world as you can. Cut off as much as you can of listening to other people's opinions and other people's doctrines. Stick to the scriptures and stick to your closet. Like Christ said, go into your closet. That them two things are crucial to your walk. Because men are so deceptive. They're so deceptive, and the deception can sound just like the truth. So you gotta be diligent, man. So from 2016 until now, I've been digging, I've been searching, I've been seeking, I've been crying, I've been praying, and I've been back and forth, because of the deceptions, at times in this journey, the deceptions were so overwhelming that, I wanted to give up. I wanted to give up and hang it up, like, I'm done with this, I want to go back to my old ways. I went back to my old ways, not full fledged, but you just like, I can't do it, but don't give up. Don't give up, man, because God's not going to give up on you. As long as you got breath in your body, man, you can repent. You can come back to God, as long as you got breath in your body, But there will come a time where it will be too late, so today is the day, Today is the day to really see. So for me, running into deceptions, they made my marriage rocky. So I got married in 2017, and I had my first child at the end of 2017. So from that time, I was still seeking, and it made my marriage rocky because I would run into deceptions and I would believe these deceptions, and I would present it to my wife, and we would try to walk in these deceptions, and it was just making everything bad, and it put issues in my marriage, but God is faithful, and He allowed me to see the error of my ways, so I could clean up my entire house, and so once God pulled me out of these deceptions, it put me on a solid rock, He was able to show me that everything starts in a home. So me and my wife have to be on one accord, and so we couldn't be on one accord because of the deceptions that I was into, and so um God, when God pulled me out, and He truly renewed my mind, um He lit a fire in me, and that fire is from the Holy Spirit. He lights that fire in all His children to have that zeal to want to um, speak the truth, tell others about the truth. And so that's why I am doing this now, because this is the time that He brought me to expose the lies, and speak the truth, preach the gospel to every creature. This is what we call to do, the true gospel, because the false gospel has taken over our society, and so true born again believers, we have to expose this darkness, this deception that is sending a lot of our loved ones to damnation. It's time for us to take a stand and expose them. So that is what I'm here to do, and so I'll just go into a few of the deceptions that are plaguing our society right now. And in my later videos and things like that, I will go into details in exposing these deceptions. But I just want to call out a few of them to get you familiar with the things that men are saying that are contrary to the truth. As we all probably know, the once saved, always saved teaching is a teaching that the majority of churches believe in some sense. This teaching, like most of the other teachings, they came from the Reformed theology. So you have to do a history search to understand where the Reformed theology came from and why it came about. There are many teachings that came out of the Reformed theology, and once saved, always saved is one of those teachings. And this Reformed theology also is the thing that created the many denominations. And that thing right there is one of the other things that woke me up when I started seeking, is noticing that we have thousands of denominations, but we have one God. We have one God, and 1,000 denominations, which means we have one God that you can serve 1,000 different ways. Well, this doesn't make any sense to me. If we have one God, then we should serve that God in the way that He tells us to serve Him, in the way that He allows us to serve Him, not the way that we think we should serve Him. And that's what you have with thousands of denominations. It is different people with their interpretations of God creating groups that people can adhere to these teachings that they teach and then say that all the other teachers are wrong. And this is a deception. That is confusion. God is not the author of confusion. That is confusion. And so that's one thing that woke me up. A few more of the teachings that many people believe that are in deep error is the sin nature doctrine, the original sin doctrine, man is totally depraved doctrine. All of these teachings came again from the Reformed theology. The sin nature doctrine is saying that men, along with the original sin and totally depraved, they all are in one group. It is basically saying that men are born sinners. And so this teaching came from this theology because these men believe that when Adam fell in the garden, that he took on a nature of sin. And so he passed down this nature to every generation. But we have to understand that, number one, how did Adam create a sin nature after he sinned? Because they say that we sin because we have a sin nature. Well, Adam sinned before the sin nature came. So this clearly is an error. Not only that, sin is an action. So there's no way that you can be born a sinner. You are born in sin because the people that are around you when you're born into this earth, the majority of people are sinners. Your family and your friends, majority of the time, are sinners. So you see that example. When you grow up in the world, you grow up in sin, you shaped in iniquity. Because the people that you are around live that life. But that doesn't mean that you, as a child, as a baby, are a sinner. Because if you, as a child, a baby, are a sinner, then you are damned to hell. Sinners go to hell. So if I'm a baby and I come out a sinner, then God has to throw me in hell. This cannot be true. This is error. This is an error that has deceived the church for many, many centuries. So these things have to be exposed. There's many, many other deceptions. Many, many other. That's just a few, and I think I'll leave it there for now because I'm running over on my time. So I'll leave that there. This is my part 2 of my testimony. My next videos and things like that, I will be going into exposing more of the false teachings and shining a light on the truth. And I hope you guys stay tuned. Like, share, subscribe, all of those things, so we can get the truth out. It's that time. So let's get it done. Don't be duped. Stay in the truth. Okay, and like I say, always seek the light. Love what's right. Grace and peace shall rule your life. I love y'all. God bless.